Hello my lovelies, it is time for another round of Have I Read It? So stay tuned. So if you watched my last round of Have I Read It, you know that once again I've changed things up a little bit. And I'm also doing 3 Have I Read It's this month instead of 2 that I've been doing for the past few months. I'm not saying I'm going to continue doing 3 each month, but this month I plan on doing 3. Another change that I'm making is that if I have more than 10 books here, for every 10 I'm going to do not just the #1 voted book. So if I have more than 10 books, I will pick the top 2 voted books. If I have more than 20, then I will pick the top 3 books, and so on and so on. I only have to read the #1 voted book, but I'm going to try to read the other top however many as well. But for those top however many, if they don't get read, they move to my extras. So my extras can continue to grow. So last Have I Read It, I did my Black Friday book outlet haul part 1 from my November 2017 Black Friday haul. So now I'm going to do a part 2 of that, and hopefully I will have done better in part 2 than I did in part 1. I feel like I didn't do great in part 1, but I didn't do terrible, I guess. So let's see how part 2 goes.
Hi guys, it's Melanie. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do part 2 of my book outlet Black Friday haul. So stay tuned. Okay, so y'all saw in the first part that I got Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, and I didn't think I had gotten the second book, but apparently it is in the same box that Fifth Wave came in, so let's pull that one out. Ta-da! The Infinite Sea.
Okay. It's funny because in the last one I actually said I read Fifth Wave. I read Fifth Wave, but I hadn't read anything else in the series. So let me get to the Infinite Sea because I haven't read that. Okay, so I can't really get that one right now. So I'm just gonna put a picture of it right here and say, if you want me to read the Infinite Sea, vote for that. And we're gonna let me grab a different book. We're going to imaginary put that book right here, and we'll pretend that this is the Infinite Sea. If I have to read it, I'll pull it out. Otherwise, I'm not. Okay. Continuing on.
Okay, so the next thing I have is this gigantic beast of a book here. It's actually 2 books in one. It's Flowers in the Attic and Petals on the Wind by V.C. Andrews.
I have actually read both of those, and I've unhauled that book, so yeah, I really don't like that series. I unhauled the entire series.
But I did find this, which is Garden of Shadows, and it is the prequel to Flowers in the Attic.
I have unhauled Garden of Shadows.
Okay, so the next book is The Devil You Know by Elizabeth de Marathi.
I don't think that I've read that one, but I'm going to look it up real quick. Okay, no, I have not read that one. The rating on Goodreads is only a 3.04. Okay, so let me go grab that, and I'll be right back. Okay, this says a thrilling debut novel about a rookie reporter whose obsessive memories of the murder of their childhood best friend bring danger and a stalker right to her doorstep. So it's also a floppy paperback too, with the deckled edges. But it's got a really low rating, so, well, maybe not really low, but That's pretty low. Okay, if you want me to read this, vote The Devil You Know. All right, what's next?
The next book we have is Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine.
Okay, so this one's tricky because I haven't read it. However, it is on my TBR for this month, and it's one of the books that I plan on completing for one of my season-a-thon challenges. So by the time, well, no, maybe not by the time this video posts. By the time this video posts, it's still unread, but I will have read it by the end of this month. So I think for this one, I'm just gonna mark it as read. Even though I haven't read it, I'm gonna mark it as read because it's getting read this month. So that one's complicated. All right, next up.
Okay, next we have Wind Witch and Truth Witch by Susan Dennard.
Okay, I haven't read either of those. Let me see which one is the first one. I think the first book is Truth Witch. Yes, it's the first book in the Witchland series by Susan Dennard. Hold on. Okay, I know a lot of people have been reading this series lately. Let's see. On a continent ruled by 3 empires, some are born with witchery, a magical skill that sets them apart from others. In the Witchlands, there are almost as many types of magic as there are ways to get in trouble, as 2 desperate young women know all too well. Sophia is a truth witch able to discern truth from lie. It's a powerful magic that many would kill to have on their side, especially amongst the nobility to which Sapphi was born. So Sapphi must keep her gift hidden, lest she be used as a pawn in the struggle between empires. And that's all I'm going to read of that. So if you want me to read this one, vote Truth Witch, and that's all one word. Alrighty, what else do we have?
Okay, so these next 2 books are part of the Young Elite series or trilogy. And I have the second and the third book, but I don't have the first one yet because it wasn't on Book Outlet. But I plan on getting it as soon as I can. So I have The Rose Society, and I got me a signed copy, woo! And The Midnight Star, and these are by Marie Lu.
I haven't read those, and I never got the Young Elite. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so I grabbed The Rose Society, even though this is book 2 in the Young Elite series. I am still interested in reading this series, so if you vote for this one, not The Rose Society, but you'll vote The Young Elites if you want me to read that, and I will either buy it, or maybe I won't buy it since it's taken me this long to get around to it. Maybe I'll check it out from my library or see if I can find an audiobook on like Scribd or Hoopla or something. And yeah, so if you want me to read The Young Elites, vote that. I can tell you, it says The Young Elites is set in a Renaissance-like world where magic is new, chaotic, and misunderstood, and 3 rival societies with supernatural abilities battle for power, and a girl transforms from an unwanted daughter into a fearsome leader, igniting panic and sparking war between 7 nations. So I'll put this as a placeholder, but if you want me to read The Young Elites, vote The Young Elites. This is like looking kind of weird with all of the placeholders and stuff. All right, what else do we have?
So the last thing in this box, now there's still a whole nother box to go through, but the last thing in this box, we have the box set of The Program and the Treatment by Suzanne Young and The Remedy.
So I have not read any of that. So let me get The Program, which is the first one, if I can get to it, because it's also in the same area as Rick Yancey's books. I can't get to it because there's like a mountain of books stacked up in front of this bookshelf. Let me see if I can reach around or something. Okay, so that's another one I can't easily get access to because of this mountain of books that's in front of it. So I have another placeholder here. This is just one of the books from the Have I Read It I did for part 1. But I've pulled up on Goodreads so I can tell you about the program. It says, in Sloane's world, true feelings are forbidden. Teen suicide is an epidemic, and the only solution is the program. Sloane knows better than to cry in front of anyone. With suicide now an international epidemic, one outburst could land her in the program, the only proven course of treatment. Sloane's parents have already lost one child. Sloane knows they'll do anything to keep her alive. She also knows that everyone who's been through the program returns as a blank slate, because their depression is gone, but so are their memories. Under constant surveillance at home and at school, Sloane puts on a brave face and keeps her feelings buried as deep as she can. The only person Sloane can be herself with is James. He's promised to keep them both safe and out of treatment, and Sloane knows their love is strong enough to withstand anything. But despite the promises they made to each other, it's getting harder to hide the truth. They're both growing weaker, depression is setting in, and the program is coming for them. So, yeah, if you want me to vote for that, then vote the program. And I'm just going to stick that as a placeholder there. All right, next.
Okay, so I went ahead and I pulled all the paper out of this box, and there was very little actually in there. This is it. This was all the paper. This box is big. Oh, and it's packed. Okay, let's get right into it. So the first thing on top here is The Conjuring of Light.
Oh my gosh. Okay. That's a big book. I haven't read that one. I've read the first 2, but I haven't read that one. Okay. Let me go get it. Okay. This is over 600 pages. I mean, okay, I wouldn't be angry to read it because the series is so good, but it's a big freaking book. Okay, this follows Kel, who can travel to different Londons. We have like red London and black London and white London and gray London, and he's like the only one that really can travel between Londons, and he works for the royalty to deliver messages between the Londons, and there's magic and just so good. I loved the second one even more than the first one. So I am looking forward to reading this, but it's just such a chunker. But if you want me to read this, vote A Conjuring of Light. Alrighty. Continuing on.
Alright, then we've got Magonia by Maria Devana Headley.
I have not read Magonia. Hold on. Oh, this is such a pretty cover. Let's see. Azra Ray is drowning in thin air. Since she was a baby, Azra has suffered from a mysterious lung disease that makes it ever harder for her to breathe, to speak, to live. All the doctors can do is give her drugs and hope they can keep her alive. So when Azra catches a glimpse of a ship in the sky, her family chalks it up to a cruel side effect of medication. But Azra doesn't think this is a hallucination. She can hear someone on the ship calling her name. Only her best friend Jason listens. Jason, who's always been there. Jason, for whom she might have more than friendly feelings. But before Azra can consider that thrilling idea, something goes terribly wrong. The sickness catches up with her. Azra is lost to our world and found by another, Magonia. Above the clouds in a land of trading ships, Azra is not the weak and dying thing she was. In Magonia, she can breathe for the first time. Better, she has immense power, and she can use it to change the world. As she navigates her new life, Azra discovers that war is coming. Magonia and Earth are on the cusp of a reckoning. In Azra's hands lies the whole of humanity, including the boy who loves her. Where do her loyalties lie? And this sounds really, really good. And I am interested in reading it. So, if you want me to read this, vote Magonia. Next up.
Okay, so I don't think I'm going to really go into the description too much about this because I think the whole world knows. But I've never read any of the Percy Jackson books. So I got all of the Percy Jackson series that I could anyway off of Book Outlet. So we have Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This is, I guess, book 3, The Titan's Curse.
I've read The Titan's Curse.
I've got from the Heroes of Olympus, which I also haven't read, so I got all those that I could get. We have the Demigod Diaries, including new short stories, games, and more.
So I don't think I've read Demigod Diaries, but I am currently working on my way through all of the Rick Riordan books, and I've already read, I'll just go ahead and say this now, I've already read all of the Percy Jackson series. I've read all of the Kane Chronicles. I've read Demigods and Magicians, and right now I'm currently working my way through the Heroes of Olympus. So if there are any of these that I haven't read on here, I don't think I'm going to add it to this for voting because I'm going to be reading it anyway. And I'm literally reading one of these Rick Riordan books every single month, and I have been for a very long time now. So I'm not going to put any of them on here, but I will mark whether I've read or not read each of these books. All right.
We have from the Heroes of Olympus, we have The Lost Hero.
I have read The Lost Hero.
From the Trials of Apollo, we have book 1, The Hidden Oracle.
I have not read The Hidden Oracle yet because we haven't gotten to the Trials of Apollo series yet.
From the Heroes of Olympus, we have The Mark of Athena.
I am reading The Mark of Athena this month. I don't know when exactly this month, but it's getting read. It's one of our buddy reads this month, so yeah, I'm gonna count that as read.
From the Heroes of Olympus, we have The Blood of Olympus.
I have not read The Blood of Olympus yet.
From the Heroes of Olympus, we have The Son of Neptune.
I have read The Son of Neptune.
So from Magnus Chase and the Gods of Asgard, we have The Sword of Summer.
I haven't read any of the Magnus Chase books yet, so I haven't read The Sword of Summer.
Oh, that's got a lot of sticky on it. Okay, from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, we have book 4, The Battle of the Labyrinth.
I have read The Battle of the Labyrinth.
And then we have The Red Pyramid, which is book 1 in the Kane Chronicles.
I have read The Red Pyramid.
Ooh, that stack is getting wobbly. And we have from Percy Jackson and the Olympians, we have The Last Olympian.
I have read The Last Olympian.
From Magnus Chase, we have Hotel Valhalla, Guide to the Norse Worlds, your introduction to deities, mythical beings, and fantastic creatures.
I have not read Guide to the Norse Worlds yet.
Also from the Kane Chronicles, we have book 2, The Throne of Fire.
I have read The Throne of Fire.
Also from the Kane Chronicles, we have book 3, The Serpent Shadow.
I have read The Serpent Shadow.
And then we have Percy Jackson's Greek Heroes.
I have not read Percy Jackson Greek Heroes. I don't know that that's actually one that we will do as for part of our, that we will use for part of our buddy reads. So I guess I could get that one and add it to this here. One second. Okay, so I just checked and that is one I think that we are going to be doing because it's an actual story and not just stuff like, I thought it was just like an informational thing about the heroes, but it's not. So continuing on, I'll just mark that as unread.
Oh, look at this stack here. It's huge. Okay, not a whole lot left in this box now. So we also have Airy, and this is the sequel to Magonia.
Okay, so I haven't read Airy, but I already have Magonia, which is the first book here. So, yeah.
Next we have A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluse.
I have read A Shadow Bright and Burning, and I really like that too.
Okay, this is the last thing in the box, and it's a box set. We have the Arcana Chronicles by Presley Cole.
Okay, there are 3 books in that series, and I have not read any of them. So let me grab the first one. Okay, so the first book is called Poison Princess. It says, she could save the world or destroy it. 16-year-old Evie Green's horrific hallucinations predicted the apocalypse, and the end of the world brought her all sorts of new powers. With the earth scorched and few survivors, Evie teams up with a handsome and dangerous Jack Devereaux in a race to find the answers. They discover that an ancient prophecy is being played out, and Evie is not the only one with special powers. A group of teens have been chosen to reenact the ultimate battle between good and evil, but it's not always clear who is on which side. Alright. So that is the last book in this round. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 8 books here. Oh, if you want me to read this, vote Poison Princess. And whichever book gets the highest number of votes, that is the book that I will read. So I only have to read one for this round of Have I Read It. I did not do bad at all on this one. Like, thank goodness there were so many of those Percy Jackson books in there, because I read a lot of them. Yay! So I don't feel like bad about this haul at all. I felt much worse about part 1. So I'm happy that I didn't do too terrible on this one. So you decide which book of these I read next month. Vote down below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a big thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of like this kind of video, click that subscribe button down below. And until next time, remember to always be completely you.